Good morning. These notes should be on the left navigation of Canvas, so you should have these definitions already. Let's discuss notation. The first letter means sum. It looks like a big E. It's a Greek letter, and it just means to add up. X represents our individual data values. Capital N represents our population size. And lowercase n represents our sample size. Let's look at example 1. Example 1. In your statistics class, you score the following on 5 homework assignments, 22, 22, 26, 24, and 23. Find the mean of your homework scores. Let's begin with notation. Let's start with our formula for the mean. We start with our uppercase sigma for sum, and we're going to add up all our data values, then divide by the number of data values. So we have 22 plus 22 plus 26 plus 24 plus 23. And divide all of that by 5 since we have 5 values. You end up with 23.4. Next, let's pull out our graphing calculator. The calculator you see on your screen is similar to the TI calculator you have in front of you. Begin by hitting the Stat button, Edit, and here in your menu you can enter your 5 values. So we're going to enter 22, 22 again, 26, 24, and 23. Now let's quit by hitting second quit. Well, when you hit the second button, that quit should become active above the mode button. And let's go back to Stat, scroll to the right to Calc, and hit one of our stats. This is the same as on your calculator, list and frequency. We only need the list, so use second and the number 1 to get to L1. And there are your values. X bar is at the top of 23.4. Example 2, finding the mean of a frequency distribution using the McDonald's drive-thru lunch service times frequency distribution table below. Find the mean drive-thru lunch service time. This column is not necessary. I added it in there to make this example a little bit easier. Now let's find the midpoint of each column of each class. This first class has a midpoint of 75 plus 124 divided by 2, which is 99.5. Go ahead and pause the video and fill in the remaining values on the table. Your table should look like this, and now we're going to multiply the frequencies and the midpoints. I'm just going to get rid of that writing for now since it's kind of in the way. So we want f times x, where f here are our frequencies, and x are the individual midpoints. And pardon me, I'm using colors so they match up. Frequencies are f, and the midpoints are x. So go ahead and multiply those. First we have 11 times 99.5. And that is 1,094.5. So please do the same for the remainder of the table. Now that you've multiplied all the frequencies and the midpoints, let's add up our frequencies, and let's add up that last column with the products. Our frequencies add up to 50 since our sample size is 50. Now we can add up the product of our frequencies times our midpoints. And a little calculator work will get you 8,025. Now we need to divide 8,025 by 50. The formula looks like this. X bar equals the sum of the frequencies times the midpoints divided by n. So we have 8,025 divided by 50. And this will give us about 160.5 seconds is the mean lunch service time at McDonald's. You can also get this from the data itself. On page 12 of your written notes, there is a data table that includes the McDonald's drive-through lunch service times. If you enter that in on your calculator and use one of our stats, that is, you hit your stat button, you scroll to calc and one of our stats, you end up with a very similar mean. So using the original data will yield a mean of 160.2 seconds. Example 3, weighted mean. In her first semester of college, Laura took 5 courses. Her final grades, along with the number of credits for each course, were an A in a 3-credit course, an A in a 4-credit course, a B in a 3-credit course, a C in a 3-credit course, and an F in a 1-credit course. The grading system assigns quality points to letter grades as follows. An A is 4, a B is 3, a C is 2, a D is 1, and an F is 0. Compute a grade point average. So we want a weighted mean, and the formula for that is the sum of the weights times the quality points divided by the weights. Well, the sum of the weights. And the weights are how much each class is worth. So the credits at our school, we call them units. And she had a 3-credit, 4-credit, let me label that credits. So she has a 3-credit class, a 4-credit class, a 3-credit class, a 3-credit class, and a 1-credit class. Now what about the quality points, or the X? Well, that's the numerical value assigned to each letter grade. So our X's are for her letter grades: an A, a B, a C, and an F. So a 4, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 0. And these individual data values correspond with our quality points. That is the numerical value assigned to each grade. Now let's use our formula. In the numerator, we're going to multiply our credits and our quality points, and here's how they correspond. They're one right on top of the other, so we're going to do 3 times 4, and I'm leaving gaps. Please leave gaps. 4 times 4, 3 times 3, 3 times 2, and let me scooch this over, 1 times 0. And again, I'm leaving gaps between all the numbers. Please do the same thing. Since we need to add plus signs in between all of them, we have to add up these products, then divide by the sum of all the weights. So add up 3, 4, 3, 3, and 1. A little bit of quick arithmetic. Well, excuse me, the green highlighted new numbers are the individual x values, which in this case is the quality points, and the numbers outside of the parentheses, those are our weights. I hope seeing this color coordination helps you keep track of what is what. Now some quick arithmetic will give us 43 over 14, which is a 3.07 GPA. This concludes the lecture for measures of center. There are some examples on the next page to be done independently. Solutions will be posted.